friends, and welcome back to our homestead. Today I would like to talk to you about food preservation. I have received multiple questions from my subscribers, from my local friends about how I store food. And today that's exactly what I want to talk to you about. Today I would like to talk to you about storing pasta. Pasta for short term, intermediate term, and for long term, because you can store it for anywhere from 6 months, use it up as you bought it, or within 3 years, or even as long as 10 years and plus. And I'm not kidding. So we're going to talk about that. And also I want to review a new product that I just got, and it's a small seal, vacuum seal that goes on top of jars. And I don't know how to pronounce it. I don't know. But that is a little product that I got, and I want to review it today. I want to see how useful it is for food storage in anyone's kitchen. So that's what we're going to do today. So let's talk about pasta. You know, many people store food away for different reasons, simply because the prices keep going up. And if you can find it on sale or with a coupon and you bought it and you're like, you know what? I don't need it all today, but I want to use it next 3 years. Well, there's a way of storing it so the bugs don't get in. And guess what? If people like pasta, mice love pasta, and we need to protect it from the rodents. So, also some people store food because they worry about the natural disasters or about loss of a job or whatever else. Everyone has a different reason, and you know your reasons. My reasons, I just want to put away when I can afford it. So, pasta. Not all pastas can be stored for long term. Well, let's determine what is a long term, what is a short term, what is an intermediate term. In my language, in my kitchen, short term is something that you bought in a box like this. You put it in a cupboard or in a pantry and you use it within a year. Maybe a little bit under a year. That's a short term, okay? You used it up, you go and you buy more, whatever. Intermediate is when you're putting it away in some sort of a container. You seal it and it sits there quietly in your cupboard away from the sunlight, because the light is not your friend. Moisture and the light, two things. Well, I'm not talking about the bugs, but I'm going to talk about the killers of pasta preservation. The moisture is going to make it go bad, rancid, and so will the light. So it has to be stored away from the light. So intermediate would be something about 3 years that you can keep it in a glass container, sealed with a special cover without air, where all that air is sucked out. And there are a couple of ways, and we're going to talk about that. And then there is a long term. And the long term is when you put away quietly for about 10 years, 12 years, 13 years, and use it then whenever you need to. But for that, my friends, you need a Mylar bag, an oxygen absorber. Okay, those two things, very important. And a container. In my case, I have this big plastic bucket, right? It's a food grade bucket that is going to be stored away in a dry place, in a cool place, away from any kind of water, rodents. It's going to be sitting there quietly for 10, 12, 13 years. Okay, so short term, intermediate term, and a long term. All right, so let's talk about the differences and how we can do that. So let's talk about the different types of pastas that we can store away. Pastas that have egg in it, like egg noodles. Pastas that are made gluten-free with brown rice or any other kind of chickpea rice pasta, or some lentil pasta. That is not good for long-term storage. The only pasta that can be stored away long-term has to have, and you're gonna have to look in the back of the ingredients list, it should have wheat and water, and that's it. So I really like this company. I'm not sponsored by anyone, but I like this company. I am told that it's legitimate, from Italy. So it's a good quality pasta. And in my case, I just have penne, and that's what I'm going to be storing. So again, no egg, no brown rice, no chickpea pasta, none of that. All of those pastas will go rancid very fast. And because of the egg, also it will go bad. So this has to be very plain pasta to be stored away for intermediate and long term. For short term, just stick it in your cupboard and use it as you go. But if we want to store it away for a little bit extended period of time, then we have to make sure there is a proper type of pasta. All right, so let me show you how I'm gonna do it. It's super simple, super easy. Always make sure that you're working with clean, dried hands, because you don't want to get any kind of moisture or unneeded oil into your pasta. So I don't know how big this is. This is 1.5 liters. So this is actually it's 2 liters. It's a really big jar I have. And I'm going to be using a really big jar. So if I had my funnel, I couldn't find it. So I'm just going to not use it today. But make sure it's also nice and clean and dry. It has to be absolutely clean and dry. Some people even go ahead and sterilize them. I don't. I just know that it went through a dishwasher, it's nice and clean, and it's super dry, and that's it. Some people will even put it in the oven at a low temperature, like 220, for about 20 minutes to disinfect it even more. I don't do it. I just make sure that it's nice and clean. And then I'm going to be putting my pasta. Oh, also when I buy pasta, I try not to buy it expired. So this pasta has a shelf life, or best buy. Where is it? I think it's at the bottom. Let me check. I think it says by 2026, September 2026. So I know it's fresh pasta. Okay. All right, and I'm going to be putting that all in. So I can fit more than one box in here. All right, so when I was looking at this little machine to remove the air, I was reading instructions, and it comes with instructions, and they're pretty clear. And they also have little pictures on the side that talk about how to use it. So it's pretty cool. It's visual. I like that. It said that not to fill all the way to the top, but to leave a little bit of headspace. Okay, and I looked in the picture what they mean, because normally when I do canning, I do about 1/2 inch to 1 inch of headspace, but they talked about to the rim, to the top rim. So that's exactly what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna keep filling it. Actually, let me grab a towel. I'm gonna tap it a little bit. So see how it's settling? All right, so I can add more now. There you go. So they have, this company has narrow mouth, wide mouth. I bought a wide mouth because I prefer to use wide mouth containers. So then I have a brand new, I do not reuse them. These are brand new lids. And the reason why I don't like to reuse them for this purpose, because if you once used a can opener, there's a chance that you have damaged the lid, just slight. But that slight is not going to give you a good seal. And this is what's very important. Now, some people prefer to put a little oxygen absorber in here, and that is fine. I've done it as well. You can put an oxygen absorber in here, and it's going to help to keep the oxygen down. But I'm not going to do it because I'm using this. I am using this. If you don't have any kind of air removing kind of vacuum seals, then yes, you have to put an oxygen absorber, put a seal, and put the ring on, and make sure that it's all the oxygen is absorbed, and this becomes all sucked up. But in my case, I'm not going to use the oxygen absorber. Why? Because I have this bad boy. Directions. This part is for the regular mouth. I need for the wide mouth, which is underneath. See, it goes together, you separate. Okay, now it should go over. Oh, hold on a second. There you go. Now it's over. Now it's gonna work. See, because I was like, wait a minute, it didn't go over. How is it supposed to work? Now it's over. Now let me press the button. and it's beginning to do its thing. All right. All right, that's fun. Oh, wow. All right, and it's shut off. Now let me see. It's sealed. It's nicely sealed. See? Completely sealed. So now this can go in my pantry away from the sunlight. I will label it. I always put a label on and I will say what's in it. Well, I don't have to say what's in it. You can see what's in it. But I will put the date when it was put away. And I will use this within 3 years. So this is my intermediate way of putting away pasta. Again, no egg, no extra oils, no gluten-free, no specialty pastas, regular dried pasta. This can be done with elbow pasta, with spaghetti, you name it, any pasta you like. All right, so this machine, it's pretty cool, all right? So this part, like I said, will work for the narrow mouth, or the regular mouth, I should say. And this is for the wide mouth, and they seal together. All right, so I'm looking at this seal, and it also has a little port, I'm guessing, to charge it. That's what I'm guessing for, to charge it, because when it arrived, I did not have to put it. So it's probably battery operated, but honestly, I don't know where they go. So I think they have to be charged up. That's the only way to charge up the battery. So anyway, so this is a cool little gadget. I will leave a link on in the description on Amazon where you can also get it. It was not very expensive. And I think it's a cool gadget to have because, friends, you can always seal them with other devices, but they may be a little bit more bulky. You've also seen me seal and put away some dried vegetables, dehydrated vegetables and herbs. And I have this big bulky machine, Food Saver. And you've seen me use it, but like I said, it's very expensive and it's very bulky. This guy is super handy and it can fit in any drawer in your kitchen. So I like this little device. All right, so again, I've got 2 jars. I'll put it in my pantry away from the sunlight, and I will use them within 3 years. So this is intermediate way of storing away pasta. All right. The next method is going to be long-term storage. You can store it for 10 years, 12, 13 years. I've spoken to a friend of mine who has done it for much longer than that, and it's still very good pasta. So that will require you, my friends, a storage bucket, and I got this bucket for $1. I got this for $1 with a special lid that will seal. This is not a gamma lid that that spins. Those a little bit more money, but they're very good and I love them. So if you are unable to purchase those, or if they're expensive, this can be purchased in any supermarket where they have bakery section. So this one, for example, came with, it says chocolate deluxe buttercream frosting bucket. When it's empty, they sell them for $1 or they throw them away. So I stop by the bakery and I say, hey, do you have any buckets for me? And I buy one. So this is going to make a very good seal, okay? And if anything, it's very difficult to open, so you need a special tool to open it, or you ask your husband to open it for you. So again, why do I need this bucket? Because once it goes into Mylar bag, I like to put it in a bucket. So this way, the mice will have a hard time chewing through, and the other bugs will not get in. Okay, the bugs will not get in. Let me talk to you about this method that a lot of people do, where after they purchase dried goods, they come home and they stick it in the freezer for 3-4 days, for a week. Then they defrost it, and then they go ahead and seal it away. I've done that with pasta and I've done that with beans, because when you put things in the freezer, it kills if there's any kind of larvae left from a bug or whatever, which is a possibility, okay? That will kill that larvae. However, I have not done that with pasta because I worry that when I put this in a freezer, it will attract moisture to my, because these are paper boxes, okay? Cardboard boxes, and I'm afraid it's going to attract moisture. And remember, moisture is not your friend when it comes to storing pasta, okay? So I did not put them away into freezer, okay? I did not do it. So now let's talk about Mylar bags. You know what these bags are. In my case, this is a gallon bag, and it has a little Ziploc with it. But also you've seen me use those gigantic big 5-gallon bags. And those are great because it will line the entire bucket, okay? However, there are pros and cons to that. The pro is that once you put the whole big 5-gallon bucket in there, bag into the bucket, you can fit a lot of these boxes in there. You empty all of them in there. You can fit a lot. However, once you open that bag, you expose it to air. So now you have to use it up. And if you have a small family, you don't need all of that pasta at once, okay? That is why I like to put things into smaller bags and then stack them in a bucket, okay? Does that make sense? I hope it does. All right, so let's fill up this bag. This is a 1-gallon bag, Mylar bag. And when I purchased them, they already came with these little oxygen absorbers, and I believe there's 3 in here. So I'm going to be using one of these packages per bag. So what I like about it is that it opens up on the bottom and you can fit more, see, just like that. And it has a Ziploc capability. So that way that if I'm not using the entire bag once I opened it, I can reseal it again with a Ziploc. All right, so let's just start pouring the pasta in here, okay? And see how many boxes it will take. All right, I have no idea. So, all right, box 1 goes in. All right, box 2. This is a fun project. All right, box 2 goes in. Again, I also always like to tap because more things will settle. Box 3 goes in. Yeah, definitely not going to put more than 3 because I still need to be able to seal it. Now to this bag, I'm going to be putting a couple of oxygen absorbers. These are the small ones. So I'm keeping them in a Ziploc bag so they're not exposed to air. Otherwise, they're going to go bad pretty quickly. Okay, they will suck up the air and go bad. So I put them in here. And now I'm going to seal it. And let me show you the little magic that my husband and I have devised. And it works to suck up all the air out of these bags. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. And my husband and I devised this cool little gadget that works for us to suck up the extra air out of the bag. So this is the vacuum cleaner. And this is the nozzle that goes on the vacuum cleaner. If you need to vacuum between the couch cushions or something like that. This is a piece of a metal straw that we attached it with duct tape. So this will be a very, very precise and narrow oxygen removing device from the bag. To make a good seal, I am using a travel flat iron for curly hair to straighten it. So this is a small but hot and mighty sealing device right here. So this is MacGyvering a couple of things here at home. So I may need my husband's help because it's a 2-man job to actually seal this up. All right, so let's try this. All right, I'm gonna close this bag 3/4 of the way. Okay, 3/4 of the way, just like this. I'm gonna put this in a corner of the bag, just like this. Turn it on and remove as much as oxygen as possible. Okay, so we removed as much as possible. So it's already sealed pretty well. All right. And then I'm gonna just take this and just seal the top. Just like this. And this is gonna ensure that if by any chance the Ziploc bag opens up, the top is sealed, okay? So now under heat, this is sealed. Now the remaining little air that might be in here right now, the oxygen absorbers will work and they will suck all the air, and it's gonna become very compact bag of pasta. They can go into my storage for next 10 years or so. And as always, see how it is? It's not nice? And as always, I need to label this to make sure that we know what's in here. All right, and I'm gonna put down that it is pasta, it's penne, and it is from what month and what year. And that way we know exactly what's in here. Penne has two ends, mama. Penne. Goodness. All right, misspelled penne. All right, it's gonna go into my bucket now. Okay, friends, so this is how I like to store pasta. For short term, put it in the pantry, use it up within 6 months or so. Then we have 3 years, okay? Sealed, no air, in a jar with a little vacuum sealer. Or for 10, 12, 13 years in a Mylar bag that's gonna go into my bucket. So friends, I hope you're not scared away from storing away foods. If you have a coupon or you're able to buy a couple extra bags, go buy them and store them away, because you're gonna thank yourself later when the prices jump up. On this note, friends, I hope you're not filled with fear, but filled with hope and wisdom. And on this note, be encouraged and try something new.